Hey, good morning. Thanks for jumping on. It has been at 10. I'm meteorologist Ben Peine with your live weather streaming show for Southern Indiana, for Metro Louisville, for Kentuckiana, for the Ohio Valley, and beyond here this morning. And so got a nice start to the day. It was a beautiful sunrise. There's a little disturbance to the northwest that'll stream in some clouds that'll filter out some of our sunshine today. Just normal chilly weather out there in the mid 40s, kind of where we should be for this time of the year. And then we're going to slide into an above normal weather pattern for actually a pretty long time. And hey, we're going to flirt with 70 degrees, the first 70 so far in 2026 next week. So we're going to look ahead to that. That'll be the good news that we'll be looking forward to. The bad news, which isn't that bad, is that we'll have a rain chance heading our way Saturday night. So Valentine's night evening-ish into Sunday. And might get a decent amount of rainfall out of that. But the melt continues across the area as a lot of our snowpack is disappearing. And hey, if you're jumping on, thanks for dropping in the comments, letting us know where you're watching from. And if you have any weather questions, that's what we're here for. Let us know. If you ever want to guide the show, if you want to see a 7-day, if you got to pop off, pop on, feel free to do that. We should be able to accommodate. Thanks for liking or subscribing. If you're watching from my page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, Peine. Extol weather, Extol weather on Facebook, Extol media on YouTube, and extolmag.com/weather on the World Wide Web. I'm not sure if you're up early enough and you saw that sun come up. We had that underglow and it produced a really nice sunrise across the area. Here's a live look now, though, with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And there looks like we've got some birds flying around. Usually we got looks like some folks out there throwing in a lure as well here on this early Thursday, February the 12th. We're rocking and rolling here at 10:01 and heading into mid-February very quickly as this year. I kind of wanted to slow down. I'm not sure about what you think, but it seems like things are going by very quickly. But anyway, as we look live, we've got some mid-level clouds streaming through the area. And as we look at our current conditions, by the way, if you're new to the program, we'll give you your current conditions, your forecast right off the bat. And then we take a deeper dive. We look at weather history. We've got some weather jokes to lighten things up. We've got a countdown here looking ahead to what's ahead. And then we'll dig into the weather maps and look at futurecast, the future models, and the long-range outlook at around 10:20. So, and then we'll do a recap after that. So that's kind of the program here. And as we look here at extolmag.com/weather, sitting at 30 degrees, was a bit chilly getting started this morning. Thankfully today, no wind chill. I would say almost no wind at all. It is going to be a pretty calm and peaceful day out there. There's the brand new 7-day forecast that I've slapped on here. And it's got that weekend rain chance. And there it is. There it is, the 7-0 on Wednesday. So if you remember last week, I was trying to will the 60s to happen. And boy, did it happen a couple days ago when we made it to 69 degrees. And so we're going to try to will some 70s to happen by the middle of next week. So it's starting to pop up on some of the data. Got the new weather story there posted as well. Cruising down the page, we're looking at, again, there's some returns on the regional radar. I'll bring this up. See that out in Illinois? It's going to be too dry, it looks like, around here for anything to fall from the sky and touch the ground. But that little kind of disturbance, that little bit of lift in the atmosphere will stream in some clouds across the area for today. There's your big old interactive map, your interactive radar. It's got dozens of weather layers if you want to play around with that. The orange circle in the upper right-hand corner is where you can look at a lot of different layers here, and the visible satellites right there. You can bring up the temperature map, and that'll bring up temperatures and winds and conditions across the entire globe, which is really cool. You can see the swirl off of New England. That's a low pressure system. And then we've got high pressure moving into our area. And then what's really neat about this is if you click on any area, it'll bring up this little flag and you hit the drop down there. And that brings up your hour by hour, like for the rest of the week. And that includes sky conditions, temperatures, wind, rain, wind gusts, wind direction. So a lot of cool information right there if you really want to take a deep dive into the weather. So our temperatures here starting to make their way into the 30s with some cloud cover today. That'll limit our warm up a little bit. We're looking at highs topping out in the mid 40s for this afternoon. All right. So we're going to see who's checking in here in just a second, but check out this sunrise here from Denise Cross in Borden, Indiana. I'll get my face out of the way so you can look at that beauty right there. That's the underglow that I was talking about in that awesome sunrise that we had this morning. I took a little snapshot as well and posted that on my Facebook page. If you ever want to share, by the way, beautiful sky photos, you can share them to our Facebook group. That is Indiana Skies on Facebook if you want to ever check that out. So here's our weather headlines for your February the 12th. We got that rain. It's going to be quiet here all the way through Saturday afternoon. But then Valentine's evening, we'll have some rain moving in for late Saturday into Sunday. We're going to be dry, or at least mostly dry, for much of next week. And then we have some spring-like 60s, maybe every day next week, maybe, again, pushing 70 degrees by next Wednesday. So that is a lot of what we're going to be taking a deeper dive and looking into here throughout the show here this morning. And we got a good morning here from Beverly Haggis, almost always one of the first to pop in the show here. Good morning to you. Cheers to you this morning as I take a little sip of coffee. And Orlean down in LaRue County in Hodgenville, happy birthday, Boyd. Happy birthday, Boyd. 31 degrees there. Hope you have a great February the 12th. My son's birthday is in just a couple days on Valentine's Day. Hey, we got a happy Friday Eve from Dennis Gregory watching from Bedford, Indiana. Kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there from Orlean and Hodgenville and Dennis all the way up in Bedford, Indiana. Mike Whaley, we've got a beautiful, how beautiful and a good morning it is. Just got to bundle up once again a little bit. But hey, winter is kind of losing its grip on us here as we're going to be trending a lot more spring-like for next week. Hey, we got a good morning to everybody from Emmanuel up in Indianapolis. I know from comments I've seen from Emmanuel, he does not want the warm-up. He wants winter perhaps to continue. So, but we, again, have a nice warm change on the way. The big melt will continue across the region. So again, we're just looking at some high clouds drifting into the area. Let's get a shout out to our partners to allow us to do what we do here on Ben at 10, your weather show. Clogbusters with the Z Plumbing Services. They got you covered throughout the Commonwealth, throughout Kentucky, clearing the way, one flush at a time. The plumber you want to call right here, 859-762-1214. They've also got you connected right here where you can message them on their website, which is Clogbusters with a Z plumbing.com. Also, when we're thinking spring, which we will, of course, next week with the big warm up, if you want to get things started, head into Grantline Nursery and Garden Center on Grantline Road. You can call them to 812-269-1271. They've got services too. If you just want to rehab the whole yard, they can do the landscaping for you as well. Lyons Roofing, Lyons. Lyons Roofing Company here, lionsroofingco.com. If you have any issues with your roof, your gutters, give them a call. Maybe you're a contractor or you're a builder and you want some help as well. You can give them a call on both sides of the river throughout the metropolitan area, 812-294-3595, or you can get free quotes here online as well. You can see all of their services and their reviews here online too. And our partners here at Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg, all you got to do is go to ivytech.edu, click on the Sellersburg campus. It takes you right here. Tuesdays at the Tech, I mentioned every day, is where you can get that one-on-one experience and check out their beautiful campus there at 311 and I-65 right there at exit 9 miles north of Louisville. And this is a way that you can achieve your career goals. Maybe you're making a career switch like I've recently done, or maybe you're in high school and you want to get the head start on your post-secondary education. You can do all of this and more right here at Ivy Tech Community College, Sellersburg. Here's my buddy Michael Long, my insurance agent. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. You can give him a call anytime if you want to get a quote and let him know that I sent you, 812-578-3072. And you can also go to amfam.com and search Michael Long. It'll take you right there to that page. So we're getting started here with some kind of increasing mid-high level clouds, as we can see live here this morning. Emmanuel's thinking one more snow in March. It might happen, but the chances do go down day by day as we get closer to spring, which is March 20th. But March snowfalls can certainly happen. I remember April snowfalls. There's even been flurries in May. So you never really know when it'll be completely over. Orleans says, went on my walkway, finally all clear after the ice that they had there in LaRue County. Thought it would never melt. Never seen anything like it. That was the problem, not just because we got the snow and ice way back in January, but because it stayed cold for so long, it just would not go away. So I definitely understand that. All right, let's get the forecast cooking here this morning. And just a quick reminder, too, you can always contact me, ben@extolmag.com, for advertising marketing solutions, or if you just have a weather question, real easy to do right there. Do want to mention there is a benefit concert coming up April 4th. If you want to mark your calendar, if you want to get tickets, Juicebox Heroes. This is going to be at the Melwood Arts Center, and also the Suburbans will be playing. They got going to have food trucks, bar, all that good stuff. And this is for Jessica's Journey Foundation. You can go to jessicasjourneyfoundation.com to learn more about all of that. Again, there's that awesome sunrise that we had this morning. And Mike Whaley, I have seen snow flurries on Derby Day. I believe that was 1989. No more of that. I would agree with that. So again, if you're just popping into the show, here's your weather headlines. Let's dig into the forecast here. We got some rain late Saturday into Sunday. Might pick up around a half inch in southern Indiana, up to around an inch in Kentucky or so. So a pretty decent soaker. And there should trend drier by Sunday afternoon and then dry for much of next week. And we are on the warm side of the jet stream with spring-like 60s almost every day for our next work week. So we're going to be trending like 15, 20 degrees above normal for much of next week. So really nice stretch of weather here from mid-February. Our average highs in the 50s are in 8 days, if you look at the climatologically speaking on average. And then our time change in 24 days, that's around March 8th. We spring ahead an hour. We lose an hour of sleep. And then we spring to springtime in 35 days. That's March 20th. For our vernal equinox, we have an equal day, equal night around that time. And thunder over Louisville in 65 days. And, of course, week and a half, couple weeks after that, couple weeks is Derby Day. And then we're off and running towards summertime. Our weather history for today, 1784, way back in the day. Ice flows were spotted in the Gulf of Mexico. I've never heard this happening. Ice flows were spotted in the Gulf of Mexico after passing out of the Mississippi. Crazy. 1899, a blue norther caused temperatures to plunge across Texas, setting a blue norther record low for the Lone Star State with 23 below zero in Tulia. In 1989, unseasonably mild weather prevailed in Alaska, morning lows of 29 degrees in Anchorage, warmer than parts of Florida there in Anchorage in 1989. We just talked about it. That same year, we had some flurries and some like a mixed precipitation at Derby Day. 2007, a 10-day stretch of lake effect snow squalls in upstate New York finally came to an end. Snowfall totals around 141 inches. That's a lot. What is that, like 12 feet? Jeez. All right, our stupid jokes of the day. Why didn't the bicycle stand up on its own? Because it was too tired. I used to hate facial hair. Then it grew on me. I grew the longest beard ever back in November, if you guys remember that. Ever for me. And I got tired of that. So I'm just back to the scruffiness. What did the clock do when it was hungry? It went back 4 seconds. It went back for seconds. All right, these are all punny here for today. We're moving on. Here's your forecast for your Thursday, February the 12th. 46 degrees, our high temperature. We're getting above freezing right now. We started off in the upper 20s in most locations. So normal chilly for today with increasing clouds. Already starting to see some of the high clouds moving in calm conditions. Very quiet, basically no wind today. 6:18 is our sunset, liking those later sunsets. Tonight's forecast, a low of 29 degrees, mostly clear, cold and dry, which is a very light breeze from the east, and our sunrise at 7:35. That is cold, but that is kind of a typical chill for this time of the year. Our normal low is 30 degrees. Here's your Friday the 13th. Uh-oh. Friday the 13th. Thankfully, I don't think it's a full moon as well. We had the full moon, I think, right around the beginning of this month. So I think we're good there. All right. So noon 44, and our average high is 48 degrees. Our sunrise at 7:35 now and sunset at 6:19. Our high tomorrow at 52 degrees. So looking pretty good overall for our Friday, a little bit above normal. Hey, we got some love for the jokes from Beverly Haggist. We got a good morning with 37 degrees now. Thanks for that live report, Lillian Lasley from your yard there. Hey, Vicky, we got some good jokes for today. Appreciate that. And loving the history and jokes here from Orlean and from Lillian Lasley as well. Thank you so much. We'll keep digging them up. Here's the 7-day. So we got 52 tomorrow, down to 34 Friday night. Valentine's Day, 56. Not too bad through the afternoon. So if you got a date night planned, I think we're dry, or at least mostly dry, heading out to it. But then we might get some rain heading back. So as we head towards evening time, those rain chances will be increasing. Hey, we got a good morning from Joe Banks from Sellersburg. Thanks for popping in the show. And then this rain will continue into Sunday morning. It looks like Indiana will start to dry out Sunday afternoon. That rain can linger a bit longer in our Kentucky spots. So a pretty good guarantee of that rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. No severe weather or anything like that. And as I mentioned, maybe like a half an inch of rain total in southern Indiana, then up to maybe around an inch over parts of Kentucky. And then Monday, hey, 60 degrees. What is Monday? Is it like Washington's birthday, I think? Tuesday, 65, and then we're going to be climbing to around 70 by Wednesday. We're going to try to will that to happen. Last time we tried to will some warmer temperatures, we overachieved a couple days ago when we made it to 69. So 70 would be the first 70 of the year. So let's try to get there Wednesday. Might start to see some of those first little wildflowers popping up that I've been talking about, those crocuses, those daffodils. It's weird. My dog, Annie, has been blowing out her coat the earliest I've seen. I mean, I combed her yesterday, and it was a pile of hair about this big. So kind of weird in February for her to drop a lot of that off. But I did read that an early coat blowout could be because of warm indoor temperatures. And we've had the wood stove going all winter the last 3 weeks, which has kept our living room sometimes around 80, upper 70s, 80 degrees. Other parts of the house are cooler, of course, but you get away from the stove. But I don't know if that's the cause. Hormonal changes can happen. But my dog dropped her coat, so there's hair everywhere. Mike Whaley's got, you are right on, busy car washes next week. And I mean, mine is still a hazy, salt-covered vehicle at this time. So there we go. Let's look at your forecast. We're going to bring up some of the weather maps here and start to dig in also into the long-range outlook here for you. Before we do, I'm going to take another sip. As it is 10:17, a little bit ahead of schedule here this morning, but the weather is actually pretty quiet here for us. But here's a look at the RadSat. If you look closely, you can see this little strip, a little bit of lift in the atmosphere here, diving to the southeast. There might be a sprinkle or two around Evansville, but I think it's going to be, the air is too dry for us to really get anything out of that other than some clouds streaming over us. So that is nothing to really care about as we expand out our view and look coast to coast and border to border. A strong area of low pressure is here off of New England. You can see there's some good winds around that too, with the tightly packed isobars, the lines of equal air pressure. We've got high pressure really anchored over our area. That means no wind. When high pressure is right over you, the airflow is out and around high pressure in a clockwise flow. So high pressure is a nice guy. It gives its air to low pressure. Low pressure takes in the air, and when the air goes into low pressure, it rises. And that's why we get clouds and rain with low pressure. As the air rises, it cools and condenses and creates rain and clouds. The opposite happens with high pressure. High pressure is heavier air, sinking air. It flows out and around in a clockwise fashion. So high pressure gives to low pressure. We have high pressure, which is giving us calm conditions around the area. That's our little lesson on high and low here for today. with the big weather map. So let me go ahead and get out of that, and we will start looking at the model data here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the GFS weather model and the future radar, and we're going to jump ahead to Saturday. Of course, that's the 14th, Valentine's Day. And let me bring up reflectivity, which is rain, and then we're going to jump ahead to the 14th. I'm going to start off here at around 1 p.m., and there you can see that system, pretty large system, a lot of rain with it from Midwest, the plains, and down to the south. So this is 1 o'clock, and then this here is at 4 o'clock. Notice still a lot of the area dry through the afternoon, but that rain moving in late day, evening time for Saturday. So, and then this is at 7 p.m., starting to see that rain. So that's why I say your date night, heading out off to the date. If you got a lovely date for Valentine's, might be dry getting there, and then heading home might have some rain overhead. So that is our Saturday evening at 7 p.m. Going here to 10 o'clock, starting to see more of that rain overspread the area. It has taken a little shift to the north. I know Christian Walker watches a lot from Indianapolis. Emmanuel watches from Indianapolis. You're just right on that edge on I-70 of the very northern flank of some of this rainfall. This is at 4 a.m. Sunday. This is 7 o'clock. The rain continues. Again, a pretty good soaker around the area. Hey, Tina Nelson, thanks for tuning in here. We've got an awesome 7-day forecast to talk about. The warmest 7-day we've had so far this year. This is going into our 1 p.m. Sunday. So notice southern Indiana drying out and that rain lingering longer in Kentucky. And then this is at 4 o'clock, seeing that rain starting to taper off for most of the area. So trending drier Sunday afternoon overall. And then we will see that continue to move off to the east. Now, how much rain are we talking about? We can add it up here with a look at the precipitation total. And again, this is rain. This is not snow by any means. And this is a look at those totals here. So this shows even up parts of Indiana an inch. I think mostly a lot of areas will see about a ½ inch. But an inch will be possible in some spots. Maybe localized 2 inches. I think for the most part, we'll be able to soak that up. It's going to be super soggy. It's going to be super muddy. I mean, we got dog mud prints all over our house. I mopped, I'm not kidding you, 3 times yesterday. Even though we've got 3 towels out to dry off their paws, I mopped the whole floor, and then my wonderful son Brady let the dogs in. Didn't clean the paws, mopped again. But you know what? That's what you get for having 3 dogs living out in the woods. And we've got 3-cup coffee Perry Porter in the house. Yes, indeed, some great weather coming, except for the soaker here. Again, that's a decent rainfall here. This is the rainfall total Saturday night through Sunday afternoon, showing a ½ inch to an 1.5 inches across much of the region. And even more off to the southwest. This shows like 3-4 inch amounts around the mid-Mississippi Valley. So at least we don't get that much. All right, heading into the wet season here. Now, I want to go ahead and look at next week and look at the warm air on the horizon as we really flipped. We are flipping the weather script here. So what we're keeping our eyes on here, like we talked about yesterday, yellow and orange, that's your 60s and 70s. And then this pink color up here, pink and white, that is the colder than normal temperatures. So right now we're in the middle, and we're right at normal. But I'm going to jump ahead here to our Monday afternoon, Monday the 16th of February. And there we go. Check out that warm bubble of air surging in from the south. So this shows temperatures in the 50s to around 60 degrees for our Monday. Nice warm weather over much of the region. A little cooler over the northwest. And we're going to jump to Tuesday, the 17th. That warm up continues. There's that warm air. And as we zoom in here a little bit, we will query And this shows 60s across Kentucky and the Ohio Valley. I've got us at 65 Tuesday. All right, we're going to jump ahead to Wednesday, which should be our warmest day. And this shows, again, well into the 60s, if not 70 degrees. Like I said, I'm going to try to will it to get into the 70s. We have, with this weather pattern, just a nice flow coming in from the southwest, pumping in some of this warm weather next week. Again, trending about 10 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year, if not more. All right, let's get rid of that. And we'll expand out our view once again. But there you can see overall that warm air winning the battle with the cold air, the polar air staying up over Canada. On the 19th, so this would be Thursday, it looks like we are still on the warm side. So I've got us still at around 68 next Thursday. All right. And then I'll clear that, and we'll go ahead to our Friday, the 20th. And so this would be a cold front moving into the area, but we are still spring-like here in the 60s Friday, if this holds true here. A little more than a week out. But notice that cold front, pretty easy to see with the contrast in temperatures, that gradient there. And so when you have that happening, you most likely are going to have some precipitation developing. So as we look here, the European weather model and the Canadian had a little rain chance Thursday, but a lot of the precipitation flying to the north. This is on the 19th. So this is Thursday, showing maybe a little bit of a rain chance with that, but most of the precipitation off to the north. And then looking down the road here, this is the 21st Saturday. It shows some rain south. And so some rain close to the area, at least there on the 21st Saturday. Back to our temperature map. It looks like some cooler air begins to settle back in, but that's kind of normal, or maybe a little bit below normal in the 40s there. So we're way up throughout the work week, and then next weekend we might get a little bit of a dip in the temperatures, but not too crazy. And then Sunday the 22nd shows pretty normal temperatures over the area. Cold north, warm south. We're kind of in the middle. And then I'm going here to the 23rd. I think this would be Monday. And this shows some of that chillier air starting to move back in, maybe toward our last week of February. If we look at the jet stream orientation, these are the winds way up aloft, 15 to 30,000 feet. A little bit wavy with the jet stream, kind of like that right there. Enough of a northerly component that it could open the door to some chillier weather there again the last week of February. So next week warm, then that following week could be back to some chillier air. All right, let me get rid of that and clear that out, and we'll go back to our temperature map before we wrap up our long range outlook. So this is now going into the 24th of February, kind of normal, a little bit chilly, pretty layered there. You can see the warm air south and then the colder air north. And then we're pushing ahead to the 25th. Ooh, it looks like that warm air trying to come back north. But if we get a flat jet stream, that kind of organizes things where we're just kind of normal. And then the warm air stays south and the really cold air stays north. This is looking at the 26th. Warmer air trying to win. We're pushing the GFS out as far as it can go here. This is on the 27th, and it shows some 50s. So looks like our warmest week of this month will be next week, as we could have some cooler air settling back in for the last week of February. And since we looked that, wait, one more thing I want to look at is the Climate Prediction Centers. I just like to look at their map because it often just matches what we're talking about here. And that is above normal temperatures here through a little over a week. So we are in the bullseye here, my friends. that is strong confidence of above normal temperatures over our region through next week. So again, that means some spring-like conditions on the way. That's the 6 to 10 day outlook through next week. And then the 8 to 14 day outlook keeps us at above normal chances of above normal temperatures overall throughout the next couple of weeks. But we might have a couple chillier days there, as we saw for the last week of February. So again, since we looked at the long range, that has been the good old Bet on a Limb segment, looking out to the long range outlook. So again, that moral of the story here is sometimes warmer means wetter, even though thankfully a lot of the storm track next week flies to the north, and we just get to enjoy 60s, maybe around 70 degrees next Wednesday. So definitely on the warm side over the next week, and then maybe turning just a little bit cooler by the end of February. Then who knows what March will throw at us. In like a lamb, out like a lion, in like a lion, out like a lamb. March is a crazy month. I used to work with Monty Webb, who was my chief meteorologist for a while. He's now living up in Washington State. But we used to talk about like every week we can get through in March is just a good thing weather-wise, because you can get anything thrown at you, including quite a bit of severe weather in March and April. So just because it can make you super, super busy in the weather world. Anyway, that is that. And I'm going to bring up another look at our current conditions and look at a few more of the comments that have been popping in. Thanks for joining the show here this morning. Thanks for liking or subscribing if you've been tuning in. That helps it go a long way. And here is a look at our current conditions. And this is your 24-hour day, 7 days a week weather source. We've got your live stream up where you can click on that red button right there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is EXTOL right there, Extol. And 35 degrees our current temperature, almost no wind out there. It is going to be a very calm and peaceful and just a little bit chilly day out there. And there's the brand new 7-day forecast and a lot more weather resources for you as well. So, all right, let's do that forecast recap here for you. We'll get rid of this and add this. Oh, we got rid of everything. Let me add that. There we go. Couple more comments popping in. We got Richard Baker watching here this morning. And hey, we got, let me get back here to John Fox. Good morning. A little bit late again. Thanks for tuning in, no matter what time you tune in from. Orlean saying this is such a nice break from the ice and snow. It must be great to be a neurologist. Crystal Bruner, good morning. Happy to see the snow go away. I'm with you on that. See the green grass again. Might not be green everywhere. If you got Bermuda or Zoysia. Got to go. Beverly, you have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. Just wondering, when does the hurricane usually begin? Hurricane season begins June and through November. So there you go. Erica had some frost on the windshield at 7 this morning, but thankful for the slightly warmer temperatures. Yeah, we still have some chilly nights for the next couple nights, down to the upper 20s tonight, so that'll give you a little frost. I did notice where it was melting off a hillside over the road this morning. That was frozen up, so some isolated areas might still have to watch out for some icy spots. But again, what a glorious sunrise we had this morning. This was from Denise Cross in Borden, Indiana. And you can always share those beautiful sky photos at Indiana Skies group on Facebook. Our weather headlines here for today for your February 12th. Rain late Saturday into Sunday. So Saturday evening is when it will begin, and then it should end as we head through Sunday afternoon. And then a lot of next week is looking dry, and then some spring-like 60s, if not 70 degrees for next week. Our countdown here, average highs in the 50s in 8 days. Our time change in 24 days. Lori, is it going to snow anytime in March? I don't know. We do get snow chances in March. We average a little snow in March. It's not uncommon, but looking that far out, I really don't know. I would be wrong to even guess. But, we always look a couple weeks out, and we shall see. 24 days until the time change as we head into March 8th. And spring begins in 35 days, 65 days until thunder over Louisville. A lot of weather history for today. I'll slap that up on Facebook at noon today. And our stupid weather jokes, not really weather related. But why didn't the bicycle stand up on its own? Because it was too tired. I used to hate facial hair. Then it grew on me. What did the clock do when it was hungry? It went back 4 seconds. It went back for seconds. I like it. All right, here's your forecast today. Increasing clouds. We'll have some sunshine, kind of filtered sunshine. 46, the high temperature, and calm conditions. Almost no wind out there for today. And 29 degrees, our low for tonight. Mostly clear and dry and just a light east breeze. And your forecast tomorrow for your Friday, the 13th. Nothing spooky about the weather tomorrow. Upper 20s out the door. So a warm morning jacket and then feeling pretty good in the afternoon. 52 degrees. And we should have plenty of sunshine around for our Friday. Our normal high is 48. Our normal low is 30 degrees. Our sunrise at 7:35 and our sunset at 6:19. Here's the big old 7-day forecast. Again, much of the daytime looks dry Saturday. And then we'll have some rain moving in Saturday evening for our Valentines. 56, though, for the high, so not too bad there. Above normal temperatures this weekend. And then we're looking at 60 Monday, 65 Tuesday, and we'll try for that 70 next Wednesday. Good morning to Laura DeVore. Thanks for tuning in. And Lillian, you enjoy the beautiful sunshine and have a great day as well. Thanks for always being a part of the show here, Lillian. We appreciate you. And we may get a little bit of a rain chance back by next Thursday. We'll see about that. Some of the data hinting at that solution right there. So again, speaking of beautiful day, we've got plenty of sunshine across the area this morning with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera, but we are going to have some high clouds, again, filtering out some of that sun from time to time. And Laura said, looking good. And I agree with that. One more time, a shout out to our partners for letting us do what we do here. Clogbusters with the Z Plumbing Services. Clogbustersplumbing.com. For all of you guys throughout the Commonwealth, they've got you covered. They've got the vehicles and the equipment to get wherever you need. Give them a call if you need some plumbing services, 859-762-1214. And if you're getting that green thumb ready to go, keep in mind Grantline, a nursery and garden center. They've got everything you need there. And in fact, they've got landscaping services if you don't want to do it yourself. You can go to grantlinegarden.com for more information. Roofing, your roofing contractor here is Lyons Roofing, Lyons, right out of Memphis, Indiana, but they got you covered on both sides of the river, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. Get free quotes here online. They've got a careers section where they are looking for a roofing repair technician as they're expanding their crews, and they got you covered on both sides of the river. And if you want to level up your career, maybe get some college credits, maybe, hey, you're just an old man like me, middle-aged or older, and you just want to learn something new. They've got courses for you. You can register for classes here, and you can go to ivytech.edu, learn more at their Sellersburg campus, and you can check out their Ivy experience. You can get one-on-one information, by the way, if you register for their Tuesdays at the Tech. And you can just give them a call. Really great folks there. Their faculty makes it really easy and accessible for you. They're going to figure out how to help you pay for college as well. And these certifications might lead you into a 4-year program. You never know. And definitely get the DC, the dual credit, if you're in high school and you're able to do that. Really powering the workforce here in Southern Indiana. And a shout out to my buddy Michael Long, great insurance agent here in Southern Indiana, but he's got products for you throughout, I think, like 8 different states. But if you want to give him a call and get a quote, 812-578-3072, and he may find several ways for you to save. Actually, it's made me a safer driver using the app and seeing those dollars go down. So check that out. Also, just a shout out as well to our friends at Libs Paving, the top asphalt paving contractor around. If you know somebody that needs an opportunity, they might find it here. libspaving.com, career section. You slide on down, and it takes you right here where you can apply online. And since we're just yapping away, one more shout out to my buddy Brad Weddington, Weddington Custom Homes. He's on every other Wednesday for Wednesdays with Weddington. If you're ready to build your dream home, go to weddingtoncustomhomes.com and you can find all of his contact information right there. And again, you can get your weather information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at extolmag.com/weather. Hey, if you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking or subscribing. If you want to email me and connect, you can do that right there. Ben@extolmag.com, where you can learn about advertising and marketing solutions, not only on Ben at 10, but the content that I provide throughout the day, every day on the social medias out there. And another reminder, too, there's a benefit concert coming up on April 4th. If you want to mark your calendar, if you want to get tickets, JessicasJourneyFoundation.com is where you can find some more information. This is at Melwood Arts Center in Louisville with the legendary Juicebox Heroes and the Suburbans. Food and drinks. Sounds like it's going to be a good time. April, right around the corner. It's coming up. All right, we got Orlean Whitlow with Have a Great Afternoon. Thanks for tuning in here this morning. And Lori McKinley looking good, loving the warmer weather. And we will be talking more about that on our TGIF edition of Ben at 10 tomorrow morning. Looking at, we'll be into the time range where we'll have the high definition futurecasts, the future radar, the weather models. So we'll time out your Valentine evening rain in more detail. And into Sunday, we'll look ahead to the warm week next week. And so loving the warm stuff we get to talk about here. All right, that's been the show here at 10:40. We'll wrap it up, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for tuning in.